Hi everyone, I'm Adam Thurgood of Hightower, Las Vegas, and welcome to the Community Spotlight Series. Today we're joined by Brooke Neubauer, the CEO and founder of the Just One Project. Welcome to the studio.
Thank you so much. Excited to be here.
Yeah, we're excited to have you. Now, this is the third installment of our Community Spotlight Series, and it's really meant to just have discussions with the leaders of great organizations in our community that are making a really positive impact. And today with Brooke here, we're going to be speaking about the Just One Project. And this one has a special place in my heart because I learned about it in 2019 from a Leadership Las Vegas group that I was involved in, and we did some volunteering for you. But the organization itself started in 2014, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's been one of the fastest growing organizations since then in our community. And it's not every day that we get to speak with the founder of the organization, so I want to take full advantage of that. So why don't we start with a bit of backstory about how the Just One Project came to be?
Sure. I did my first charitable thing when I was in my late 30s. Well, I guess mid 30s now, because it's been about 10 years. I'm aging myself. And I fell in love with it. It literally changed so many different aspects of my life. And it brought me into contact with such amazing, good humans. And all of a sudden my sphere were just those that wanted to give back and get involved. And so we just kept trucking along, and the Just One Project had legs and was a baby, and now it is a grown up and it's serving the community. And now we're serving over 20,000 people every single month, which is remarkable.
How did you center on the food service and food scarcity issue?
Sure. Food, I believe there are no accidents, so I do feel like we were meant to be in food. But when we started, we were a volunteer organization that just focused on bringing people together to serve other nonprofit organizations. So we would find a lapse that they had in one of their programs, like maybe they needed back to school shoes, or maybe they needed backpacks for kids, whatever that was. And then Del Monte reached out to us because a video had gone viral, and they said, we saw your pop up and give, which we were popping into a neighborhood and giving Christmas gifts. And they said, we would love to donate 20,000 pounds of fresh fruit. And we're like, this is amazing. And they're like, it has to be picked up by tomorrow. And I was like, great, no problem. And they're like, and it's in California. So I was like, but it was in that moment that we learned, or were reminded of, sometimes when people want to give, they need it gone quickly. So it really taught us to kind of be on our toes and to think about the giver and think about how can we make this easy as possible for our volunteers, for our donors. And so we took that fruit into the community, and we would serve at weeklies. So we went back to Sportsman's Manor, which is on Tropicana and Boulder Highway. And in passing out this delicious, healthy, wonderful fruit, we were talking to the families about where they shopped and what food items their kids have never tasted. And I'll never forget, one of the kids specifically was pointing at the pineapple and saying, SpongeBob's house. He didn't even know it was a real fruit.
Wow.
And so that literally, I drove home that day crying because I was so moved by the impact that we just had made, because it wasn't shoes, it wasn't backpacks, it wasn't extras, it was literally a basic need that you and I both need to survive. And I just thought, this is what this army of volunteers that we built up over the past 2 years, I was like, this is what we need to do.
Wow.
We need to focus on this.
Well, food scarcity is at the heart of the organization, and now I understand why you have such an amazing volunteer base, because you started out like that.
Yes.
I think you have something like 1,000 volunteers a month that are helping out.
Yes, which is remarkable. I think we have like 24,000 volunteers registered in our database that come throughout the year.
Wow. Now the pop-up and give is what I volunteered at a couple times. Really
and leadership sponsored. So that year you guys were a sponsor. So that only existed because you guys financially and gift of time. You guys gave us both.
Yeah, Leadership Las Vegas, also another great organization.
Magical.
But the Pop-Up and Give is really an interesting concept. So why don't you give us a bit more background on that?
Yeah, the Pop-Up and Give really was created to remove barriers. We go directly to serve into the community. It is a mobile food distribution, really designed to serve at the end of the month when most food insecure clients run out of SNAP benefits, and it's a lifeline. And we have no age requirement, which is fantastic for families. There's really no reason. So we think of what barriers prevent people from volunteering and what prevents people from accessing food. And so that's what the Pop-Up and Give is. We pop in, we give it, and then we roll.
And to be more specific, there's a designated spot. You have a bunch of volunteers come with pallets of food.
Yes.
And the clients just drive by, they open up their trunk, and they get a packet of food.
Yeah. And of course, the volunteers ask them, you know, would you like grapes today? Would you like this? Would you like that? And so it's nice because it's not just you're getting a box of food and you're going on your way.
Yeah.
We're greeting you, we're saying hello, we're sharing what we have at this station, and if you would like it, then we fill your trunk with it. And if not, you go to the next spot. So while it was created to be a drive-through during COVID. Before COVID, it was all walk-up. And COVID happened. We changed to make it efficient, so we started doing drive-through, but it's still client choice, which client choice is really important because just giving a box of food isn't, you know, isn't really dignified. And
from my experience in volunteering at the Pop-Up and Gives, it's a great place for kids to get involved in the philanthropic, scene. Really, really fun place for families to come together and give back.
My kids the other day was like, Daddy's taking me to volunteer at an animal hospital. And I was like, well, good luck finding an animal hospital that's going to take a 10-year-old volunteer. It's a barrier for young people. There are a lot of age requirements at various nonprofits, and I just feel like if we want our kids to really fall in love and make volunteering a way of life, we shouldn't start at 14.
Yeah.
We should start at, my kids started volunteering at 2, and my daughter would come to our Pop-Up and Give. Olivia, she's 8 now. But literally at 2 years old, she would take an item and she would drop it into somebody's cart and she would say, thank you for coming. And it was the cute, and every senior client that she served would just be overwhelmed with, it was just touching, and it was just so sweet for them. And me as a mom, I was so proud of my daughter because I was like, wow, this is amazing. And then my older son, who was 5 at the time, we were driving to a Pop-Up and Give, and he goes, Mommy, what are we doing in the broken city?
Oh, wow.
And I thought, oh my gosh. And I pulled over the car, and I said, this looks broken to you? And he goes, this is a broken city. And I just thought, man, 5-year-old, his perspective of the neighborhoods that we're serving and are broken. And I just felt like, wow, because you're right, they're very broken. They don't have access to grocery store. And of course, that's like deep in the weeds.
Yeah.
We as adults know what those communities are missing in regards to access and all of that. But it was just, little pivotal moments that just made it so like, these kids need to see this. The kids need to understand, because if we want them advocating for these same communities, they need to be aware of them.
Yeah, and one of the things that I feel like you've done well is you've made it an experience that the clients feel good at. It's not like other organizations or other social services that they don't really feel very good going. But you've made it a fun experience, especially like the farmers market or the community store.
Yeah,
really interesting.
Sure. I was at Macy's the other day returning a pair of shoes, and the woman that was I was wearing our shop tee, which it says more than just groceries on the back, and it has our logo. And she finished my return, and she said, I'm on a fixed income. I can't be on my feet, so I can't work a lot. I can only work part-time. I get my groceries from the Just One Project, and I see you guys once a month. And she goes, I'm so grateful for what you guys do.
That's awesome.
And I thought, here's a woman that was proud to be a client. And I thought, wow, how freaking cool that is. Like, we have created a nonprofit that somebody is proud that they're a client of, because I don't know that that happens all the time, specifically with food support. And so,
Really
it
cool.
was very powerful. And I just said, well, I'm so glad that you come, and thanks for trusting us to serve you, and I hope I see you around someday.
And you kind of create an elevated feel in the community, like the community market, I think is what you call it, inside of your facility. That's really a cool spot where people get to come and shop and pick things, and they have a budget, correct? They can only take a certain number of items, but it's an experience of shopping at a high-end place.
Oh, it is gorgeous. It is so pretty. And what I love is that it has the standard of a regular grocery store. And so I'm a super weirdo. I love going to different grocery stores. I love seeing how the aisles are laid out. I love seeing how the produce is laid out. Like, I love that, because I always want to use that in our distribution models, because I just think we're doing it anyway. Why can't we do it in such a unique manner that makes people feel so good about themselves? And then also, too, the kids that are coming in. You know, remember when the banks gave lollipops? We almost wanted to go with our parents, because we're like, I want a lollipop. We didn't care about going to the bank, but we wanted the lollipops, right? So even that, we give stickers, and we have a treasure box for the kids. And so everything is about experience.
And everything you provide is free to the client, correct?
It is,
that's great.
Except our Groceries on the Go program, which is a mobile grocery store on wheels. And that was specifically designed to take the place of food deserts and neighborhoods with low access to grocery stores, or for senior centers when they have mobility issues and they don't drive. Not everybody needs free groceries, and but people need affordable groceries, and they need access to groceries. So I love that we're able to, find like-minded partners that want to invest in these programs, because nonprofits, especially the innovative ones, we can't be innovative without people really understanding that we're just like this company. Like, we should be innovative. We should be efficient. We should not be doing things that people have been doing for 30 years.
And so you kind of leveraged the food security concept, and then thought about it at a deeper level, and started a housing resources project.
What we realized, so during COVID, we were serving 58,000 people on average per month, which was crazy and a miracle. I mean, it's amazing that our team was able to do that, but there were so many people being displaced, and so many people that were not able to keep their utilities on. I mean, there was just layers and layers and layers. And so personally, I felt like I don't really want to spend my whole career giving out free food and creating free food programs. To me, that's not going to stop anything. That's not going to change anything. So for me, I'd really love to be a part of something that's going to really help someone get off of that system. And as an organization, I feel like so many people that we are serving need other services. And by the time they go to another place, you might lose them because they can't get there. Or is the service going to be the same at that other location? And so we just started looking into how can we utilize our food program as the welcome mat to get people to come in the door, meet us, understand what else we can help them with. And now that's tier one. Tier one is our food program. Tier two is our youth program and our self-development classes, the financial literacy, the workforce readiness programs. tier 3 is the housing program. That's where the case managers really peel the onion and find out what they need to be self-sustainable, whether it's housing, utility support, SNAP benefits, whatever that is.
Yeah, and a lot of people are one minor expense away from being homeless, and you help to bridge that gap to make sure that that one thing doesn't knock them off the rails.
I want to say I saw a documentary maybe 2.5, 3 years ago, and it was saying that it was about like those loan centers, that the average cost, the average amount was $300. Yeah. $300 could just displace a family, wipe something out. And then I heard one of my case managers talking today, and they were saying that they're seeing the average in-house is $500. They can literally trace back with our chronically homeless clients. $500 seems to be the average
of what knocked
them into homelessness. Yeah. And the average time for that program is over 10 years. Could you believe that?
That's incredible.
And I also heard a case manager say something else this morning. They were talking to a tour that I had come in, and they said that a majority of the homeless clients didn't have family. So even the ones that had financial support, they didn't have family support, and that made a huge difference too. Mm-hmm. Because oftentimes when you have a sphere, you have a friend group or a close family, they're not going to let you fall.
Yeah.
And our clients don't have that. So I love that our case managers can be that for our clients. They hold their hands through the entire process. They're just remarkable.
Yeah, and speaking of not letting people fail and lifting them up, the youth leadership program is another shining star inside of your organization. We toured the facility a couple weeks ago. Shelby and I both loved looking at what you've built there. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Well, fun fact about the Leadership Academy, you probably didn't hear this, but I have always been a fan of Leadership Las Vegas. You guys are really just remarkable in so many different boxes. But as I got to know you guys from you guys participating at the Pop Up and Give, I started learning more about it, and I was thinking, how many of our clients get opportunities for Leadership Las Vegas? It's not in their sphere, it's not in their world, it's not anything that they're around. So then I was thinking, how can we open an opportunity like Leadership Las Vegas to clients? And then after further, just kind of in your brain thinking, and then I thought, the kids, how can we create a leadership program for kids where they have the opportunities? And that is Leadership Las Vegas literally inspired Leadership Academy, and that is why we go and take them to different field trips, and because we want them to see outside of their little small sphere.
Yeah.
Didn't know that, huh?
I did
How
not know
cool
that.
is that?
That is very cool. Yeah, and Leadership Las Vegas is not a Hightower thing, just to be clear.
Yeah.
It's a Chamber of Commerce thing that I was involved with. But that is a really cool story.
So it is cool, again, that innovation, the opportunities, if nonprofits are funded, if a really solid nonprofit is on their game and they are funded, I mean, they can do so many cool things, and they can create things that are gaps in the neighborhoods and the communities. But yeah, the youth program is the bee's knees. I love it.
So what's new on the innovation front? Any big plans or ideas that you've got cooking?
We are focusing on sustainability right now. So in December, we bought 4 acres. Actually, well, I guess I just did a little spilled the beans accidentally. We do have a piece of land, and we are looking to build a collaborative campus that is going to be our headquarters, and a space which we are calling the Community Collective, which is a space where other nonprofit partners can be housed within our campus, because we know the importance of keeping everything in one place, because again, clients going from A to B, A to C, A to D, there are barriers. There's so many barriers to that.
Yeah.
So that would be that, and just trying to be sustainable, and just really just trying to strengthen our existing footprint now.
Well, that's fantastic. It's
So
exciting
innovation
news.
is on pause right now.
Well, that's great. Well, how can people get involved if they want to, check out your organization?
Well, we love people getting social with us. So getting social is a great, follow us on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Instagram. It seems like you have an age, right? If you're in your 20s, you're on this or whatever. We're on all the platforms. But really, for people to follow us, check us out online. We're always looking for volunteers. We're always looking for community partnerships. And I think that that's really key.
And just to be clear, a community partnership example, a great one, is 3 Square. They are a food bank. You are their distribution arm in a lot of ways.
Yeah. So there's community partnerships that give you in-kind donations, or that you work with that can help refer services, or there's community partnerships where they're donors on your mission. So there's 2. 3 Square is one of our largest community partners. They're phenomenal. They're the food bank. So oftentimes somebody will be like, oh, they're just one project's a food bank. No, we're not a food bank. There are food banks, and then there are food pantries. And food bank, their one job is to bring all of the food into whatever state that they're working on or city that they're working on. Then they take that food and they get it to their distribution partners. And we have been their distribution partner since 2016, and we have been their largest since 2019.
Great.
Which is awesome, because it's nice that we can be the last mile in their distribution effort. And it's just wonderful to be able to serve and help them carry out their mission.
Awesome.
But the community partnerships that I was talking about is, we want people that want to get engaged, that want to be involved, that want to do corporate team building. They want to make an annual gift into our mission and really be a part of that solution.
Great.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks again for joining us.